Hey, what's up guys, it's Disturbed. Today we're going to be taking a look at the weekly vendor restock like we do every single week. My voice is still a little bit messed up from my sinus infection, just got a little bit of a mucus problem here, but hopefully it won't be that too big of a deal for you guys. If you guys do enjoy, please make sure to drop a like as that helps me out a ton. And feel free to subscribe as I am pretty much always the first person that's going to be uploading these weekly vendor restocks every single week. But yeah, let's hope we get some goodies, so let's get right into it, boys. Alright, starting off, we're just going to be taking a look at all of these pieces at the advanced weaponry vendor. There wasn't anything good at the front of the base, so there's the Centurion here, like always, military M9, T821 is pretty bad, MK16 pretty bad, pretty bad, wow, that's unfortunate. Okay, that's pretty decent, but you do want to get crit chance or crit damage as a minor slot, so unless you don't have one of these, it's probably not worth it to get that. Vertical grip, no, you don't want optimal range. Alright, all that was pretty trash. Let's hope there's some decent blueprints or something. Alright, now at the special equipment vendor, by the way, I might get a lot of comments asking me why my base damage is so high. It's because I'm wearing Skull MC gloves as of right now, and I have assault rifle damage on my gloves, and I'm using bear chest and a couple other things, so that's why my base damage is really high. It's mainly due to Skull MC gloves. But anyways, moving on, we got a Rhino special here, pretty bad. PP19 has good rolls, but PP19s aren't really that great in this game as of right now, but it is what it is. Got a P416 with Brutal Prepared Talented, nothing too special there. Double barreled sawed off with Destructive Responsive Fierce. Wow, it's a pretty crazy roll if you're looking to do damage with one of these, but I usually pull one of these out to get like Competent or something. So unfortunately, I'm actually looking for one that has Predatory and Competent on it, but still pretty decent, I guess. Then we got an M700 with Unforgiving Elevated, nothing too great there. M60, pretty bad, Rehabilitated. Sentry Mask, Final Measure Mask. We got Reckless Chest, Lone Star Vest, Relentless Backpack, Predmark Backpack, Firecrest Backpack with Armor, pretty cool. Deadeye Backpack, Alpha Ridge Backpack with Skill Power, of course. Prosperous Knee Pads, Defense Knee Pads, which are pretty decent. And never mind, I take that back. Nimble Holster, Striker Holster, Tactician Holster, Reclaimer Holster, Astute Gloves, Gloves of Nomad, Hunter's Faith Gloves. Wow, that armor roll though. Electronics mod, Pulse Crit Damage. Nothing special there. Alright, let's take a look at the blueprints. Might be some decent blueprints or something. Let's see what we got here. Alright, we got an M700, oh, no, excuse me, an M870 Express, god damn it, and then an RPK. That kind of sucks. Stamina knee pads. Quick release mag, vertical grip. This has optimal range, so it's a pretty bad grip there. Electronics gear mod. Alright, now let's just scroll down just to see if there's any guns we could craft for Alpha Bridge. That would be nice. Ooh, double barreled sawed off. Oh, hell yeah, boys. Get that Competent, Adept, and Predatory. Alright, everybody make sure to get that so you can get Adept, Competent, and Predatory. It's really great to get that. Alright, awesome that I got that. And nothing else too great here. Alright, moving on to safe houses now. Alright, starting off at Madison Stand Safe House. We got a specialized backpack here. It's pretty decent. The armor roll is a little bit on the low side, but it's not too low. I mean, if you roll for armor, you should get a decent amount of armor in total. I mean, the firearms is pretty nice. That's why it's a pretty decent specialized backpack. So if you're looking at one, this one's here. None of the other safe houses had anything, so that's why I skipped over them. Then there's these Ballistic Shield Health Performance mods if you're running a defense build, which would be pretty nice, and Ballistic Shield Damage Resilience as well. So yeah, that's going to be at Madison Stand. Alright, moving on. Let's hope there's some decent stuff, because none of these other safe houses had anything, so let's see. Alrighty, at the Last Call Safe House, there's a pretty decent Omega Rifle Suppressor. I mean, if you're looking for one, it's okay. It has headshot damage, stability, and crit chance. Like Marco Style said in his video, he likes to run stability. Personally, I don't really need stability. I think I have enough recoil control, and I don't notice a 2.5% stability doing anything. But if you're under the impression that that's helpful for you, and it really does help you, maybe you're on console or something, this would be pretty much a god roll for you. Otherwise, you'd probably want to get about 4% crit damage here instead of stability. But nonetheless, it's still a rather decent Mega Rifle Suppressor, and it is tan, which is pretty cool as well. So that's going to be at the Last Call Safe House. Alright, over at East 53rd Street, I don't think it's the best muzzle in the world, but some people do prefer to run crit chance on their muzzle and sometimes on their scope as opposed to headshot damage or crit damage. So if you're one of those people that likes to run crit chance, is a pretty decent one over here at East 53rd Street. It has 6.5% crit chance. I think the max of this could be about 7.5, possibly even 8. I haven't checked since 1.4 came out, so it might go up to 8, but 7.5 it definitely does go up to, so it's not the best roll in the world, but it's still pretty decent if you're looking for one. So yep, it's going to be East 53rd Street. Over at West 31st Street, it seems again that we have another AK-47 that's pretty crazily rolled. I'm not sure how the base damage is because I don't have another AK in my inventory to compare it to. But it has responsive, destructive, and vicious, and I think I might buy it just to try it out. I'm going to compare it with the other AK first, though, because I haven't rolled that one for competent. I'm eager to try it out, though, because my lightweight M4 doesn't even have competent, and I think the AK would just be fun to use. I like to run it in survival. It does a lot of, the base damaging really has a lot of fun to use, so if you're looking for a gun, this one's pretty nice. It's not going to be as good as an M4, but with these rolls, it's pretty good. Why can't we just get a lightweight M4 to roll like this? I don't understand. Last week we got unforgiving, responsive, and this week it's responsive, destructive, vicious. Just give us an M4 like this, RNGs. It's not that hard. Alright. Well, yeah, we got that pretty crazy. Got the pretty crazy AK here, and then we got a performance balance subordination duration if you'd like to run a Gila build. But yeah, moving on. Oh yeah, that's at West 31st Street, by the way. Alright, over at West 39th Street, there's some Savage gloves that are peculiarly enough to roll the exact same amount of armor as those Savage gloves that were there like I think almost a month ago, but these are pretty good for PvE, not in PvP, because you're not going to be using SMGs unless you like to run a defense build or something, but even then I don't think crit chance is working with defense, or I mean Savage gloves that is. I'm not 100% sure, but if you're doing PvE, I'd recommend rolling off SMG damage, or PvE, is that what I said? I hope so. Yeah, you just roll off SMG damage, you can get crit damage or assault rifle damage. I'd prefer assault rifle damage because theoretically speaking, it's going to be giving you more DPS. And then you can use this and it would be rather great in PvE against NPCs because damage to elites is going to be better than either crit damage or crit chance would be. So pretty nice roll there. There's also an electronics mod here with armor on it that's pretty nice. So if you plan on running a reclaimer healer build or something else with skill power, like a sticky bomb build or a secret mine build or something like that, you can get this electronics mod here. It's pretty nice. And then we got a really shitty scope. It's not actually that bad. It has stability on it. So if you're looking for a crit damage scope, that's here as well. And then there's an SCSG with pretty bad rolls. And that's all at West 39th Street. So make sure to check it out if you're interested in any of that. Alright, at West 42nd Street, we got an extended mag here. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. I'd prefer to have, instead of crit damage, I think reload speed is what I usually go for. Or no, rate of fire. My bad. I'd prefer to have rate of fire, but having mag size and crit chance is rather nice. And mag size on this is a little bit low. But, I mean, if you're looking for one, it's pretty decent. Not the best in the world because you're going to be needing rate of fire and crit chance for it to be god roll. Also a higher mag size roll, but it's okay. Alright, that's going to be at West 42nd. Moving on. Right at West 46th Street, there's a pretty decent MG5 here. MG5s or LMGs in general aren't really the best guns to be running in 1.5, but maybe they're going to be getting buffed or something like that in the future, and you're just one of those people that wants to be precautious, I guess, and just hoard a bunch of stuff. And this is a pretty good roll. We got Brutal and Competent here. Brutal is great on LMGs because of the already built-in super high headshot damage multipliers on LMGs that are going to be there, so stacking a lot of headshot damage is pretty nice. And Competent is one of the best talents in the game, especially being in a third slot. It's awesome, so you could roll for something like Unforgiving here or Destructive or something, which would be pretty nice. So yeah, MG5 here is also these Savage gloves, but not very well rolled. And then some 7% turret health mods if you like to run a flame turret or a shock turret or something. And then there's a stability grip that's pretty bad, and that's going to be at West 46th Street. Alright, so that's going to pretty much do it for all of the checkpoints. Now we're just moving on into, wow. Alright, let's take a look at all the stuff in the DZ vendors, and then we're going to be done. Fortunately, it wasn't a whole bunch of great stuff, but let's just hope that, as we can tell, there's nothing great here, but let's just hope that there's some decent stuff in DZ3 or something. So starting off with the Predmark mask, which is alright. You want to have enemy armor damage here and a different major attribute. The armor is good, but the stam roll is really low, so that's unfortunate. If you're going to be running Firecrest, I don't know why you would be, but even if you were, the armor roll on this could easily be about 300 higher. The stam roll is pretty low, but you could decide to roll for, and you probably want to roll for health or EDR here, so that's not the best. Firecrest chest, and then we got a Reclaimer backpack here. It's okay that this rolled the electronics if you're going to be running a Reclaimer build like the one that Marco Style runs. So you'd just have to roll for armor here, but the electronics is a little bit on the low side, but the armor is actually pretty good on this. So you don't have ammo capacity though, which might suck for some people, but if you just make sure you get armor, it's a pretty decent roll there. And then we got Firecrest knee pads with really nice armor on those. Actually, you could easily get up to, I think, almost 2900 armor on this, which is pretty crazy. And then it has almost max roll stamina. It's about 30 off, 1272 is max roll, so it's a pretty nice stand roll there. And then we got crit damage. You just roll that for armor, of course. You do want enemy armor damage on the minor attributes, but it is what it is. I mean, the armor roll being so high on this and the stand roll, I think is enough for it to be considered a pretty decent piece. Then we got a striker's holster here, which is pretty bad all around the board. The armor is pretty bad, and then the base stats aren't the greatest either. So is what it is. And then Predmark gloves. Wow, really nice firearms roll there and pretty decent armor, though you aren't going to be really running a shotgun with Predmark, and then you don't really want health on kill, so you're either going to be missing out on AR damage or crit damage. So again, not the best Predmark or para Predmark gloves, but if you're looking for gloves, they're okay. I mean, losing out on crit damage isn't a huge deal. It's not great to miss out on it, but I guess you could just substitute with that for health and kill. Yep. Alright, moving on to the other DZ vendors. Alright, in DZ5 at the weapon mods vendor here, we got a high velocity mag that's pretty bad. Oh wow, pretty nice Omega Rifle Suppressor. I think this is almost just as good as the other roll that I was looking at, so I'm not going to talk about it a whole lot. Then we got an accuracy grip here. You don't want accuracy on the grip ever. And then improved iron sight, stability, crit damage. Alright, only thing decent here is this Omega Rifle Suppressor for reasons that I explained later, but everything else is pretty bad, so just going to be moving on to DZ4 now. Alright, in DZ4, let's just check if this gal has any armor mods which could be helpful. We got a firearms bond with health, and a performance bond with ballistic shield damage, so if you're running defense, this might be okay. I prefer probably if I were to run it, which I wouldn't, but if I were to run it, I'd probably go for ballistic shield damage, resilience, or health, but I guess this is here, so nothing great here. Alright, moving on to DZ3. Please have a lightweight M4 on, Jesus. You know you love me, just... Alright, let's check out what they got over here in DZ03. We got a M9A1 here. A T821 with pretty nice rolls. Unfortunately, T821s are pretty trash, and so are SMGs, but it's a pretty decent roll here. Brutal and forgiving is pretty nice. We got a deadly self-preserved predatory AK. So this one has 24.3k base damage. The other AK had, I think, 23 point maybe 7, I think it was. So yeah, it definitely wasn't the best base damage roll on that on the other AK, but this one has pretty bad talent, so I wouldn't go for this one. We got a Super 90 with brutal and capable, nothing too special. Scar H with deadly determined, and RBK with self-preserved and deadly. So pretty unfortunate rolls here. Nothing at all was even worth buying. Maybe the T821 if you're just a hoarder of guns that might end up getting good in future patches, but yeah, nothing great. Alright, moving on to DZ2, and then we're gonna be done. Alright, after getting killed by a group of 4 people that are camping the safe room as we speak, we are now in DZ2, so let's see what we got. Tenacious Mask with pretty shit rolls. It has, wow, it's off max base stam roll of over 100. Doesn't have enemy armor damage. The armor is off by, could be upwards of 80 higher. And the main stat is pretty bad, so they're the major attributes. So definitely want to stray away from that. We got a reckless chest piece. I mean, I guess if you don't have a reckless chest already, you could roll this to be something other than electronics, and it might be pretty decent. Increased kill XP is good in PvE, so meh. Then we got a specialized backpack here with electronics. Unless you're running a reclaimer build or some skill power build or something, you're not going to want to pick this up because you're going to want to have armor on this chest piece, of course, and you're not going to want, or backpack, I mean, you're not going to want electronics, so that's not too great. Accomplished knee pads, which are pretty good actually. The armor could be higher, but if you like accomplished knee pads, they have increased kill XP and enemy armor damage. So for that PvE field proficiency caching, that's farming, that's pretty good. Then we got steadfast, pretty shit, and then savage gloves, which are pretty nice. Ooh, pretty good for PvE. I think the other ones might be a little bit better because I think that had a higher firearms or stam roll it was. But this one has damage to elite, shotgun damage, and crit damage, so you roll off shotgun damage for assault rifle damage or for just main base damage of whatever gun you're using. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Unfortunately, we didn't get much this week that was really worth buying. I mean, the AK-47 was pretty nice. I think I might pick that up for myself just to try it out and maybe use it with a different build video that might be coming out soon or something like that. And then I also got the double-barreled sawed-off, and then there might be some other gear set pieces or some weapon mods or stuff that could help out some people. But for most of us that are just trying to min-max, it wasn't too great of stuff. Just a double-barreled sawed-off is helpful to get that adept and competent going also with predatory when I'm doing some PvP. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please make sure to drop a like, as that does help me out a ton. You guys don't even know how much I love it when you drop likes. I really do appreciate it. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, as I'm always going to be pretty much the first person to upload these weekly vendor restocks like we do every single week. So yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.